What is up, survivors? This is Harv with Harv's Corner. Today's mod review is going to be a couple little mods, actually. It's not just going to be one, it's going to be a couple of them. If you read the video description, you already know we're going to talk about spyglasses, and specifically 3 different types. I kind of wanted to try 3 different types, 2 that I'm pretty comfortable with and used a multitude of times, and then 1 that was just really cool, so I wanted to share it. So these are 3 different ones we're going to talk about. Pros and cons, what they do, pretty straightforward. There's a lot of different spyglass binocular scope mods out there, but primarily I think I use there's one in here that I primarily use on just about any server that I play on. But the other 2 I think are pretty cool. Again, pros and cons, but we're going to talk about all that. If you watched our last build video, then this place probably looks familiar. I'm sitting over here on the ocean biome. Just finished building this giant platform base not too long ago. Pretty cool. Anyway, doesn't really matter where we're at. We got 3 spyglasses and they're toggled down in my toolbar. We have the first one, which is the awesomer spyglass. The second one is the super spyglass, and the last is the Tek Binoculars. I'll have the links to each one of these individually in the description of their mod page on the Steam Workshop website. There we go. Here's a little monkey. There's a little monkey. So the awesomer spyglass is a little bit different because it doesn't really actually like spyglass. It just toggles on and off. So when I toggle it on up at the top, it gives me longitude and latitude and also the direction I'm facing, which is kind of nice. So it's kind of a GPS spyglass mashed into one until you go to scan things. Now it does show up outlines of animals, and if the critters are going to come after you, that outline will change to a red or a yellow depending on their temperament. But when you highlight them, it gives you all of their stats, how many levels they've gotten in certain stats, also what it takes to tame them, and what it is going to what things they take to tame, and how many of them it would take to actually tame them, the torpor rating and everything. Now, obviously, this is good because you can use all your offhand weapons, your tranq rifle, everything else while you're still having this toggled on and off. So this could be stacked with other spyglasses to make it, even crazier. But this is definitely clutch for being able to check all the stats, knowing what I need to tame it ahead of time. This saves a lot of time if I'm able to scan these guys. What I don't like is that it's a little too much in my opinion. It kind of takes away from things that are more endgame-ish, like I like items that they give you a little bit more, maybe give you something that other items don't do, but right away, this makes the GPS obsolete, which isn't necessarily, that's not too big of a deal, but it makes things like the Tek helmet, that does the scanning for you, or even the Bloodstalker spider vision, like they're not even useful at that point, which is kind of a bummer. But those 2 things also have other advantages to having them as well. I think it's a little over the top for me personally. We used it on 1 or 2 servers before, and I haven't really touched it too much again. But because it's so thorough and does everything, I figured this would definitely be one that we would want to talk about. So that's it. That's the awesomer spyglass. So again, it does everything that the GPS does. It still works like a spyglass, but I can't really zoom around with it. It just toggles on and off is all it does. But it does give you all of the tames information, what you need to tame it, how much of what you need to actually tame it, and then the level assignments that are listed up there too. Now I'm not certain with this and with the other one. If we look at for instance, we see it's got a point in stamina, a point in oxygen, a point in movement speed, which would have been wasted in this point. But the -0 at the end of it, I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure if maybe that's when you start breeding them, like you get the maternal and paternal. I'm not certain, but the 1-0, I'm not sure about that. The first number always makes sense to me. The second number, I don't know, up in the air. At any rate, not a bad mod. Definitely, I think it's maybe a little excessive, but if you're looking for a spyglass that does everything, this is the one for you. All right, so while we're here, we're just going to leave the little monkey here. And again, this toggles on and off, which is weird because I can have this on and then toggle to another spyglass and use it. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, we're going to turn it back off. We're going to go to the super spyglass. Now, this is the one that I primarily use. All right, here we go. So if I hover over it, it kind of works the same way as the Awesomer Spyglass does. It gives me all of the level points that it's gotten and in which level. It doesn't give me the taming thing. It doesn't give me the taming materials or how much of that I need to get the tamement, but it does tell me where all the stats are at, which is nice, again, if you're trying to breed, to know what the stats are ahead of time. That way you're not spending all the time to knock the animal out to check its stats to realize it's not what you want and then walking away. So this saves a little bit of time and a little bit of aggravation. And this does toggle zoom. Actually, this will scroll with the mouse wheel. You can zoom in and out with this guy. It doesn't give me the outline. It doesn't give me the GPS. So it's definitely a toned down version of an Awesomer Spyglass. I like it a little bit better. It doesn't do everything for me, which I actually kind of like. And then the option to be able to zoom in is pretty nice too. But that's pretty much it. This is the one that I normally use. And again, it's mainly because it saves me a lot of time when I'm scanning for animals that I want to tame specifically for breeding. If you're not sure about how breeding for stats works, you can definitely check out our 101 series. We got a couple of videos as far as breeding and how to check for stats and how to mutate and get stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, so that's the regular, well, not the regular Spyglass, it's a super Spyglass, and again, that's the one I normally use. Lastly, we have these cool guys, binoculars, and they're Tek Binoculars, which is really neat. So, Tek Binoculars will pull the level for me, but that's all it's going to pull. But it also checks the distance. There's a built-in rangefinder. Gives me the longitude and latitude on the sides of where I'm at, and also at the top gives me a compass to let me know which direction I'm facing. The scroll wheel still zooms in and out, and then with the right click, I can turn the night vision on and off. So out here, it doesn't matter too much, but you can definitely see where it brightens things up. The shadows back here definitely get brighter. And basically, the left click is what you're going to use to aim, and then the right click turns it on and off. And you can zoom in and out with it as well. This is cool. I like the rangefinder option is neat. I like that. That's kind of neat. And this works really far out, pretty much as far as you can, almost as far as you can see with it. I mean, this is going ways out here. When it says 0-0, I think 0-0 would tell you that it's out of range. But I mean, I'm hitting the edge of that cliff from all the way here. It's actually giving me like the kilometers and everything. I like the interface on this. It's very pretty. It's very unique, I think. The longitude, latitude, I dig. Yeah, pretty cool. What you would expect out of binoculars. It's not going to scan stats for you or anything like that, but this is cool for really long distance, scoping stuff out from a really long distance, and obviously night scanning stuff as well. If you're out at night or in a cave or something like that, these are pretty good for that too. Being able to toggle the night vision on and off. I don't know, dig it. Dig it. All right, well, we're gonna go back to the base. But yeah, Spyglasses. I figured that was something that we never really talked about in a lot of these mod reviews of big mod reviews, small ones, different creatures and stuff like that, but not a whole lot based around some of the equipment. So I figured we would take the time to talk about that. There's a couple more that I'd like to do regarding a couple of other pretty popular mods that are like better reusables and things like that. But yeah, those three were the three that really jumped out at me. But feel free to check the Steam Workshop anyway. If you just search for Spyglass under the Arc series or binoculars, there's so many, and a lot of them do different things, which I really like. They're not all doing the same thing, much like I showed you right here. They all do different things, which really come down to what kind of server you're running, what's the community, the community that's playing on your server, or if you're just solo, what do you want to use? But yeah, that's the three Spyglasses. Again, we have the Awesomer Spyglass that kind of did the infrared vision, GPS, scanning, kind of did everything that you could possibly think of. We have the Super Spyglass that just did just the stats and had a telescopic zoom, and then the Tek Binoculars that had the zoom ability with the GPS incorporated, and then also had a night vision option as well. If you found this video useful, please feel free to throw me a like, hit subscribe, leave something in the comments. Let me know if there's another mod out there that you would like to see done, maybe one that you're thinking about but want to learn a little bit more about it. Whatever the case is, let me know and we'll throw another review out for it. I have two lined up that our community has requested that we touch on, and those are going to be the next two. So the next 2 Mondays. I apologize for this being late, but I had some real life stuff I had to straighten out. But next Monday, I believe we're probably going to touch on the immersive taming, and then the week after that, I would really like to sit down and talk about some Jurassic Park. But that's it, guys. That's it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, and until next time.